All right, let's talk about it. I was holding off on covering this because I wanted to establish the narrative arc of how we got here first. We were supposed to build up to this moment, not jump into it head first, because this is some niche, deep Silicon Valley transhumanist shit that even just 10 years ago was sci-fi bullshit that people laughed at. All right, go back in 2011. Technomonarchism was a joke, a fringe idea lurking in the deepest corners of accelerationist think tanks. By 2018, it was becoming a serious undercurrent of billionaire ideology, but people still thought it was just edgelord nonsense, something only Peter Thiel and Curtis Yarvin fanboys took seriously. But yesterday, it stopped being a theory. It stopped being a long-term, inevitable drift toward digital feudalism. It became reality. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, the de facto ruler of Twitter, the guy who owns our satellite infrastructure and controls a terrifying amount of our digital lives, was just given the power over the US Treasury. Not on some economic advisor bullshit title, not on some quiet backroom influence operation, but in a way that makes his power inside the government functionally untouchable. No disclosure requirements, no oversight, no checks, no balances. A billionaire with explicit contempt for democracy and an open love for corporate monarchy just sees direct control over the financial lifeblood of the United States. And just like when Luigi Mangione assassinated the CEO of United Healthcare, we're now skipping entire fucking chapters of the story. Because what just happened yesterday, it's not just another case of corporate overreach. It's not just another billionaire buying influence. This is the ideological and literal realization of the Dark Enlightenment's entire thesis. So we need to talk about what that actually means. To understand this, we need to lay it out straight. Because the Dark Enlightenment isn't just another far-right movement. It is explicitly a rejection of the entire Enlightenment tradition. Curtis Yarvin, better known as Mencius Moldbug, is the father of this ideology. His core belief? That the American experiment has failed. That democracy is inherently flawed. That rationalism and liberal governance are weaknesses. And that we need to return to monarchy, but this time with CEO God Kings. I want you to let that sink in. Because we aren't just dealing with corrupt oligarchs anymore. We aren't just watching capitalism eat itself in slow motion. We are witnessing the ideological death of democracy in real time. The people now running the United States don't believe in democracy. They believe in corporate feudalism. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance, they aren't nationalists in the traditional sense. They don't want a fascist dictatorship in the way most people imagine it. They want something far older, far more insidious. They want to turn back the clock to a time when power was absolute, hereditary, and unchecked. But now, instead of kings and emperors, they want technocrats and billionaires. Instead of aristocrats ruling by divine right, they want a corporate elite ruling by algorithmic efficiency. And the US Treasury, the thing that funds every federal institution, every government program, every regulatory body, every possible check on their power, has just been handed over to them. The entire point of the American Revolution was to reject monarchy, to reject the idea that power should be centralized in the hands of a few. The founders didn't design democracy because they thought it was perfect. They designed it because they knew that concentrated power always leads to tyranny. The Dark Enlightenment wants to undo all of that. It is by definition the most anti-American ideology imaginable. Because say what you want about fascism, libertarianism, neoconservatism, every one of those at least pretends to acknowledge the legitimacy of the nation state. The technomonarchists do not. They believe the nation state itself is obsolete, that government should be privatized entirely, that we should live in corporate city-states ruled by absolute executive power. That is not hyperbole. That is not conspiracy. That is their openly stated goal. And it just took over the economic engine of the United States. I'm still processing this because even I didn't think they'd move this fast. I knew we were heading there. I knew this was the end game, but this just happened yesterday. We are officially in uncharted territory. The only thing standing between us and a full consolidation of corporate monarchy is their incompetence. The next 2 years will determine if we even make it to 2026 with the ability to retake Congress, because if we don't, this coup becomes permanent. So buckle the fuck up, because this is not business as usual. This is the moment where we either wake up and fight back, or we watch as the last remnants of democracy are dissolved by a billionaire ruling class that believes they are above nations entirely. I need you to understand what this means. And I need you to understand why we have to resist it.